And it looks like we are live. What is going on? What's up, y'all? It's your boy AJ, and I'm back with another live stream Q&A. I don't usually do this. I haven't done this in a very long time. Yes, I go live each week with my Nerd Talk crew, but I never really go come on here and on my own channel and just sit down and talk to you guys. And this wasn't like even a thing that I planned on doing, like that I've been advertising for weeks or any amount of time, really. But I just felt like I wanted to do it. I have been wanting to do this for a long time. Just come on my channel and just talk to you guys and things like that. The next one will be more in advance. I'll let everybody know what I'll be doing and when I'll be on, because sometimes I feel like that is kind of like not fair to just go live. But like I felt a little spontaneous today, so I I'm here and I'm going to talk to you guys about what's been going on with me, what I've been watching, what I've been checking out, what I'm anticipating coming up, and things like that. And hopefully, some folks come to the chat so we can, wrap a bit. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this thing. So let's go. All right, so it looks like we got some comments. Luke reviews, what is good, AJ, man? I'm good, man. I am really good today. And I just thought I'd do a quick Q&A. Um, just kind of talk about what's been going on with me. My return is imminent as well. Yes, I'm ready for that. I am ready for Luke reviews. If you guys do not follow Luke reviews, go ahead and do that. Um, he's an awesome guy, has some awesome content. So yeah, so basically it's the summer, it's halfway through the year, and yeah, like that's kind of crazy to think about. 2024 is half over, bro. That's insane to me. That's insane to think about to me. Um, but yeah, we've had some good stuff. We've had some really good things come out. Some things that were a bit disappointing, but you know, it's okay. Like you take the good with the bad. Um, so I guess I'll start with movies. So lately, yesterday I actually saw Inside Out 2, and I really enjoyed Inside Out 2. I had to really think it over though. I had to like sleep on it. I don't think I like it more than the first one. Personally, I feel like I can relate to the first one more, which is kind of crazy. But I think the whole thing about Riley moving to a new state and things like that, having to meet new people and kind of get adjusted, I could relate to that more. The second one is a lot about hockey and sports, and I'm not really a sports guy. So I think that was one thing that kind of like distanced me from the movie a bit, but it still was really really good, and it was relatable about like growing up and things like that. But also Riley is a girl and she deals with a lot of different things that I didn't have to deal with. So I think that put a little bit of distance between me and the story being told. But Inside Out 2 was really good. I really enjoyed the new emotions that we had. Like that's like the best thing about the movie. I really enjoyed pretty much all of them, mainly anxiety because they were like front and center. Anxiety was like front and center throughout the entire movie. And I guess you could call them the villain of the movie because there wasn't like a true villain of Inside Out Part 2. Is there an Inside Out Part 1? No. There's no really villains in this, story. I'm sure they're gonna make a part 3. I don't think this story needs a villain at all. It's just dealing with how, your emotions affect you and affect your well-being, affect the people around you and things like that. And yeah, it was a good one. I enjoyed that one a lot. Let's see. Luke says, "I always see you online on the PS5 watching Blu-rays." Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing. Watching Blu-rays, or I don't know if it shows up that I'm watching Netflix because I've been on Netflix a lot lately. I've been on Bloodborne, Grind, having graduated. Oh, okay, okay. Bloodborne, I think I actually have that, but I don't have it downloaded on my PS5, but I have it. I don't have it installed, but I have it, in my library or whatever. Luke Reviews also says, I like them equally, maybe this one a little more. Joy and sadness in the first movie really pissed me off. I could relate more to the anxiety part of the story. I get that. I can definitely get that. When anxiety like took front and center, I can relate to that. That was very relatable to me. Um, but like the actual situations that Riley was going through, that was what kind of distanced me from the story a bit. Not a whole lot, because a lot of that stuff is just pretty universal anyway. But joy and sadness, they really had to figure some things out in the first one, and I liked it. It did piss me off as well, but like in a good way, if that makes sense. It kind of pissed me off in a good way. um but yeah, Kal-El, what's going on, Kal-El? Anxiety is new. I would say that they brought that character in because Riley was going through puberty, even though anxiety probably arises before you go through puberty, but that's when anxiety was front and center. So yeah, it's a new character to Inside Out, though. Yes, Life is the villain. Yeah, definitely, definitely. uh Jared Runner, what is going on? I'm just kind of talking about what I've been into, what I've been, watching lately, what I'm anticipating. And I just want to do a random live stream. I didn't want to like advertise it and stuff. I kind of wanted to be spontaneous today. Like I said earlier, the next live stream I do, it's gonna be like in advance. I'm gonna let everybody know in advance, hey, I'm doing this, so I have more people in the chat, things like that. But I had a few things that I know I wanted to talk about. So, another thing I've been into lately, I'll go back to, things that I've been watching lately. But just to let you guys know, I've been going through some 80s films lately, and it kind of like sparked my interest for 80s cinema. So, I've been picking up some 80s Blu-rays, and things like that, so I can just go through some really popular 80s films and the ones that I haven't seen, obviously. Um, but yeah, so the first one that kind of got it kicked off was Field of Dreams, starring Kevin Costner. And I enjoyed it to a point. Going into it, I thought it was going to be something different than it actually was. I didn't quite realize how supernatural the film was going to be, and I wasn't like really feeling it. But the story kind of turned out to be a bit interesting, but overall it wasn't for me. Like, I understand the appeal, but like I said, I'm not really a sports guy either. So it kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't really for me. But I did like the filmmaking. I do like the era that it's set in. So I kind of like been on a roll. The next one that I watched was Can't Buy Me Love, and that stars Patrick Dempsey. Nobody else I really know in that movie, but Patrick Dempsey is like a young kid, and it's kind of like um that type coming of age type of film where a nerd is like getting made fun of, he's being bullied, and then like he comes up with a plan to become popular, and that plan works, but it's very cliche where, he'll stop talking to his nerdy friends, and he'll, kind of remind me Inside Out too a little bit. um he gets popular, he kind of makes fun of his nerdy friends and things like that, and he kind of becomes the bully himself, and then he has like a moment of realization and things like that. It's very cliche, but it was a good movie, and I'm very surprised that it doesn't have a Blu-ray. I don't know how popular that movie is, but I would love to own that movie on Blu-ray. I really enjoyed it. Jared Runner says, "Well, I've been catching up on One Piece lately. I'm on episode 493. That was me last year. I like I went through One Piece like crazy. I was watching One Piece like a madman last year, and I actually caught up, watched every episode within 4 months. So I know you can do it, Jared. Let me know which arc you're in right now. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, let me know which arc you're in right now, just so I can know, like, gauge where you're at. Hope you've been well. I've been well, man. I've been well. We also need what you've been reading. I was getting to that. That's something that I was going to talk about. I'm currently towards the end of Mickey 7. I did not know that was a book. And charging through Fire and Blood so I can start watching House of the Dragon season 2. Uh, where do I want to start? I'm not going to start talking about what I've read just yet. I'm gonna get into that, and then I'm gonna get into House of the Dragon season 2, because there's only one episode out for House of the Dragon season 2, and I'm gonna definitely give spoiler free, um, you know, my tidbits. But yeah, I'm gonna get there. The nerd becomes cool, gets the girl. What an era! That is basically what Can't Buy Me Love is about. But the journey is cool. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the acting. Actually, I like the girl, the main girl in it, and I really liked Patrick Dempsey in it as well. There are like certain scenes where, like making a huge declaration and, making a speech in front of everybody. There's a few moments like that in the movie, that kind of like shook me a little bit. So I like that one. Last good one was Love Don't Cost a Thing. I have not seen that one. It's a cult following for that movie. Yep. Kino seems like they'll do it. Yeah. The View with Drew. What's going on? What's up, man? So, as far as movies, let's kind of like talk about what has stood out to me in 2024, starting with January. And I'll kind of talk about the things that I didn't love too, but I won't take as long with that. So let's go 2024. And we're going January. So saw Mean Girls, the remake. Didn't really care for that one that much. And the more I think about it, the less I like it. I haven't watched it since theaters, but that's I'm not really into that one. The Beekeeper, it was a fun little action flick, whatever. Madam Web, horrible. Dune Part 2. Oh boy. Don't get me wrong. I love Dune Part 2. I thought it was really, really good. The first time I watched it, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. There were some things that I just wasn't quite jiving with. And I still kind of feel that way. But the movie is so well put together that I have to give it a 5. The next time I rewatched it, I had to give it a 5. And then I watched it at home, and I had to give it a 5 out of 5. Is it a 10 out of 10? Not quite for me. I still think the first one is a perfect movie. It's a perfect lead up 2, the second one. And I'm not about to get on here and slander Doom Part 2 because I absolutely love it. I don't want y'all to get the wrong idea. I love Doom Part 2. Um, there were some certain aspects that I might have tweaked and changed, but I won't get into that too much. But I do love the movie. The movie is amazing. 5 out of 5 is a 10 out of 10. Not quite. I would say like 9.7 is a 5 out of 5. 9 point, like that's leaning more towards a 5 out of 5. Now, like if you're right there at like 9.5, 9.3, then I would say that's a 4.5 out of 5. But the way I look at it, if it's like a 9.7, it's just there. It's like not quite perfect to you. Then I would say it is a 5 out of 5, but it's not a 10 out of 10. That's just the way I look at it personally. But I understand that everybody else, they have their ranking systems and their rating systems. That's fair. Uh, but Dune Part 2 is amazing. Don't hear me say that I don't love it. I'm close to the end of Marineford arc and the flashback stuff with Luffy, Luffy and Ace as kids. Oh, so you already saw what happened at Marineford. Yo, that like shook me to my core. That shook me. That was like probably the first time that show actually like made me be like, yo, this is a story. Like this is an amazing story and with depth. Now, One Piece is extremely drawn out. Like I can't deny that. And I can't defend that. And when somebody comes to me and says One Piece sucks because it's too long and it takes its time too much, I can't be like, yeah, it doesn't take its time. I can't say that, but I will say that it has an amazing story. Is it drawn out? Yes. And will that turn somebody off? And I understand it. Yes, I completely understand why One Piece would turn somebody off. But if you have the patience to sit there and watch all 1100 episodes, do it. If you have the patience, though, like most people don't. X-Men 97 and Bad Boys, that sums up the year. X-Men 97 was simply amazing. And that was the first show in a very long time that I couldn't wait for the next episode. Now I'm feeling that way right now with House of the Dragon. Like I've been counting down the days for the second episode of season 2 of House of the Dragon. But X-Men 97 had me there the entire series, the whole season. Now, I don't know if House of the Dragon season 2 is going to be able to keep my interest the entire season like that. Um, the first season didn't. I feel like the first season kind of dipped a little bit with my interests. It was kind of like a roller coaster, but X-Men 97 never made me feel like that. Never. It did. Like every week I was like I can't wait until the next episode. And then like that morning that the episode dropped, I was on it. I was on it. I didn't miss it. So, um yeah, that's the first series in a long time that had me like that. Even if I love a show, I don't feel like that. Like the last season of The Bear, I really enjoyed that season, which is season 2, and that was last year. I was really enjoying the season, but the week to week thing, I was like, I'm not feeling this. Like I gotta like wait till the season is over or something to like binge it. Dune. My Dune. I swore off decimals a while ago. I only go point 0.5 or 5-star scale on a 5-star scale. Yeah, I don't usually do. I don't usually do in between. I usually do half stars, like half. So if I'm going if I'm going 1 out of 10, I usually do solid numbers. Sometimes I do point 0.5 when I go out of 10, but for the most part, I do solid numbers if it's out of 10. Now, out of 5, that's a lot tougher for me. That's where it gets kind of like hazy when we do out of 5. And I know that's how Letterbox does it. And some people will be like, why are you giving that score? Like, why would you give it that score? I'm like, our ranking systems are just different. Our rating systems are different. It doesn't mean that I hate the movie. It's just different. One could say I got 4 stars on my thesis grade. Well, that's awesome. 4 stars? That sounds like a good thing to me. So I just started One Piece back in March, and that was the same for me. I started One Piece in March of 2023, and I stopped at September, I believe. No, August. It was August when I finished. I got a big keep watch burn for everyone. Oh, keep watch burn. Keep watch burn comedy movies of the 2000s decade: The Hangover, Tropic Thunder, Pineapple Express. Okay, so with keep watch burn, is it like if you watch it, you can only watch it once? If you watch it, you can only watch it once. If you keep it, you can watch it forever. And if you burn it, you don't get to see it ever again. So that's what I'm gonna go by. For this lineup, I would say uh watch Pineapple Express, keep The Hangover, and burn Tropic Thunder. Only because I've only seen Tropic Thunder one time when I was younger, and I wasn't that impressed with it. I didn't think it was that funny. Now, if I watch it now, today, with what I know now, then maybe I would like it more. But as of right now, I would say Tropic Thunder, Burn. Hangover is one of my favorite comedies of all time. So I would keep that so I could watch it forever. And Pineapple Express, I have a love hate, not love hate, but I have a love like relationship with Pineapple Express because the first time I watched Pineapple Express, I thought it was like the funniest comedy I've ever seen in my life. Second time I watched it, I was like, it's not as funny. Third time I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's the funniest comedy ever. Then the next time I watched, I was like, it's okay. So it's like a love like relationship with Pineapple Express. So those are my ratings on those. Curb didn't have you. No, I still haven't watched. I still haven't finished Curb. I still haven't finished Curb. I'm a binger. Like once the season is over and I start it, I'm able to like pretty much watch it all the way through. But if I'm waiting week to week for things, I'll watch like probably up to episode 4 or 5 and then just kind of like drop it. And I'll be like, I'll get back to it. I'll come back to it. I love Curb. That's one of my favorite comedies of all time. So even saying that about that just goes to show it doesn't matter if I love a show or not. It's hard to keep me week to week. Fritzky in the building. What's going on, Fritzky? What's up, man? Step Brothers all over them. Step Brothers is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It does Hangover does not touch Step Brothers for me. So I'm gonna let the comments pile up a little bit. while I talk about more things that I've watched this year and just my thoughts on it. Lisa Frankenstein was the next film I watched. I watched that back in March. I didn't love it. I didn't like it. It wasn't my taste. Now, I understand that people really enjoy it. People really like Lisa Frankenstein. It has like that coming of age, you know, comedy vibe, like I guess not horror, but like it deals with Frankenstein bringing somebody back from the dead. So I don't know. I started watching Lisa Frankenstein, and then there's like a musical number, and I was like, what am I watching? Nah, not for me. Um, Maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace because sometimes I dig goofy stuff. Like I dig silly, stuff, but like that was just taking it too far. It was taking me out of the story. Lisa Frankenstein wasn't for me. Damsel, that was the Netflix original with Millie Bobby Brown. I have it at a 4 out of 5. It's probably lower than that. I feel like I just kind of liked it in the moment. Uh, Kung Fu Panda 4 was good. It's good. Roadhouse was very mid to me. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I feel like I'm right in the middle with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I didn't love it whatsoever, but I didn't hate it that much. It was just there. It was very mid to me. It didn't offend me, but it just was so mid, especially coming off of Afterlife because I really enjoyed Afterlife. So, and now for Godzilla X Kong, bro. I don't care what you guys think about Godzilla X Kong. Oh, it's goofy. Oh, it's silly. That was a fun time at the theaters, bro. I don't care. I had a lot of fun with Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Now, was there depth? Eh, they tried. They tried something with the human characters. I feel like this is probably the best of the human characters in the monster verse. Now, I can't speak on Godzilla minus one. Godzilla minus one is low key a masterpiece. But within the actual monster verse, I would say that this one got it. As far as the humans. Um, did it still have some issues? Yeah, but like it wasn't made to be critically watched. It wasn't like made to be watched with a critical eye. So I don't know. It was just a fun time at the theater for me. Next is Imaginary. I watched that at home. It was very mid. It was okay. It didn't make me mad. Argyle. It was kind of fun. Mhm. The First Omen. I can appreciate some things about the First Omen. I seriously thought I was gonna walk into the First Omen thinking that uh it was gonna be just kind of like trash. It was gonna be like a 2 out of 5. But I don't know. It had some eeriness to it. Some creepiness to it. Did I find it like extremely scary? No, but there were some scenes that like I could definitely see could get it under some people's skin. So kudos to that, I guess. Monkey Man, I was actually disappointed with Monkey Man. Did I think it was a bad movie? No. But I didn't love the filmmaking. I didn't like the camera work that much. It was a lot of close up shots, a lot of shaky cam, especially with the action. So I didn't love Monkey Man. Civil War, that is one of the top films for me this year. I absolutely loved Civil War. The acting and the performances were just phenomenal, and I can't wait to see it again. Abigail, fun time. It's a fun time. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That was another big one that came out this year. I saw it twice in theaters. The first time I watched it by myself, and I liked it. I thought it was cool. And then I watched it again with my mom in the theater, and I was just like, this one ain't it. It's not great. Especially the villain. The villain isn't great, and also there's a human character that is just, her performance in the film is so stale, and she's kind of like a central character. Like the story kind of revolves around her a bit, and she gives us like no emotion. She's like so stale, and I really picked up on that the second time I watched it, which is unfortunate because I liked it the first time I watched it. Next is The Fall Guy. It was fine. I'm so glad I didn't see it in the theater, but I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It was whatever. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, fun. I would say that one was fun. Um, it could have been better, and I know my buddy Tyler, he was really disappointed with the film, but I'm not a huge Mad Max fan. Like, I like Fury Road. I like the film, but I don't love it. And I kind of felt like that with this movie too. I liked it. I thought it was well made, well crafted. The writing was probably the weakest part. It felt a bit messy and all over the place, but I don't know. For the most part, I liked it. And then we're getting down to the wire. So everything I watched in June. In a Violent Nature. This is a movie that not a whole lot of people know about, but uh it's a essentially a horror film in a slasher film. Very reminiscent of Friday the 13th, with a slasher slash killer in the woods, and he's going around killing these teenagers, and like cabin in the woods type thing. And when you hear that, it's like, oh, I've seen that a billion times. Well, no, this movie, it follows the slasher. It's in the point of view of the killer the entire movie. Well, the majority of the movie. So we're really just like following him, and like, yes, he's like in earshot of people talking and people speaking, which when they talk, they kind of give the exposition of the film and like give the story, which is kind of, you know, generic, but you still get that story element to it, but it's not as strong as, something like Friday 13th or anything like that. Not saying that those are very strong, but you still get that. That's all I'm saying. The kills in A Violent Nature are insane. Crazy practical effects, and kudos for the filmmakers there with that. And I came for the gimmick. I knew what it was going to be about, and I pretty much it's probably my favorite horror movie of the year. Yeah, it's probably my favorite horror movie of the year so far. Um, but yeah, it was good stuff. Bad Boys Ride or Die. I'm saying this a lot in this stream, but it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, they still got it. They haven't, skipped a beat with, their banter and their on-screen camaraderie and things like that. So, that movie was a lot of fun. Now, was it like high art? It's a Bad Boys movie, and it felt like they were trying to do a few things that were new. Some worked for some people, and some didn't work for some people. Overall, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I know some people gave it a lot of people gave it a 4 out of 5. They liked it, but it wasn't like amazing to them. The action was kind of amazing in this movie. Bad Boys Ride or Die. It's the fourth film in the franchise, and I can safely say that this franchise has no bad movies. This franchise has no bad movies, especially in my eyes. Now, 2 has its issues, and I love 2. I love Bad Boys 2. Is it long? Yes. Is it funny? Hilarious. Hilarious. So, I talked about Inside Out 2, and the last one I talk about is The Watchers. It is from I hate to say that. Who directed that? M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, but her name is Ashana Ishana Night Shyamalan. So this is her debut film. She wrote and directed. No, she didn't write because this is based on a book. So she directed this film, and that's exactly how this movie felt. It felt like I was reading a book. And, that's fine sometimes, but like the certain things would be delivered like that's kind of interesting that they reacted that way or they did that or like that it had like a very creepy and eerie tone to it, which I liked. I thought that really worked for the film, and it you know paid homage to films like that, and the woods and the forest and things like that. But I don't know, like the characters were just not very believable, and it was hard for me to connect to any one person. There is one one character in the film where she has a husband, and he goes off, and then he tries to come back. I don't know if it was really him. Like the creatures, they have this thing where, without giving too much away, they have this thing where you don't know if it's your loved one or not. It might be the creature. So they're like kind of trying to figure out if this is really her husband and stuff like that. I really like this actress. It's the same actress from Barbarian, and I thought she was really good in that as well. But I don't know. Watchers was, I don't know. I just couldn't connect with the characters, and then there was a point in the movie where they reveal what they reveal. Just trying to stay as vague as possible. They reveal what they were revealing, and it kind of like opens your eyes, and you're like, oh, it's this kind of movie. It's this movie instead of the movie that I thought I was walking into. I will say the creatures, when they're not shown in plain sight, and like you see their shadows and you see their silhouettes. There's this scene where you see the creatures like from a distance, and it's just their silhouettes, and like they're like crawling around, and then they stand up, and you see how tall they are, and how like it is super creepy, super eerie, and I like that about the movie. But it's there, as the movie goes on, like you start to see them more head on and more clearly, and it's just like kind of loses its mystery a little bit. But it's all right. Let's see what the chat is saying. Step Brothers should be funny. Wait, should be funny if it is to be called a comedy. Oh, so you're saying you don't think Step Brothers is funny? I have met a lot more people than I thought I was gonna meet that don't like that movie. That's okay though. If you would have asked me 10 to 15 years ago, um, not ask me, but if I were to talk to you and you told me that you didn't like Step Brothers, I would have said you don't like movies. You don't like cinema. You know, like I can't really take you seriously because you don't like it. I don't feel that way anymore, especially with comedy. Comedy is so subjective. Like, it's probably the most subjective genre of film. And just period. Like, that's like the most subjective, genre of anything. Like, so like with stand up, like I might think this person is hilarious and you might watch the same thing, be like, "Mm, okay, if you say so." And I've learned that the hard way, trying to like show people comedies and like having my heart broken basically because like, yo, you don't like this movie? It's hilarious, man. They're like, no, it's really not. So, I feel like that genre is the most I felt that about. Now when I show people horror, that's kind of like the same thing, but it's not as subjective. It's not as subjective, but it is still very subjective. Um, Drama is probably the least drama, and uh yeah, I'll probably say drama is probably the least subjective in film. Last show I did was Supernatural, and I missed the last two seasons. Yeah, I actually love Supernatural, and I'm still not done with it. I am in season 15, the final season, but I'm I'm not in a rush to finish that. AJ, for my next video, what is your favorite disaster movie? I would say probably my favorite disaster movie is Cloverfield. I don't know if that's fair because it is an alien invasion movie, but that is my favorite disaster movie if it's just like covering all genres. And for the one after, your favorite X-Men movie. The easy answer is Logan. The easy answer is Logan for X-Men movies. I feel like everybody is going to say that though. Or Days of Future Past. I also love X2, and that's just because that's the movie that got me into the franchise. Like that's the first X-Men movie I ever saw. So I would say first Logan, but if that's already taken, I would say X2. So yeah, I'm well aware that it has its faults. And then especially if you look at the source material and you look at the original series, how they handle different characters and things like that is it's kind of an abomination. It's so bad. It's so bad how they handle some of these characters. But like if you're not looking at any outside source material for that movie, it's actually pretty good. Favorite disaster movie is Madam Web. Not that kind of disaster. I've seen none of these movies. Yeah, I've been to the movies a lot this year, which next year is probably not going to be as much, just given different circumstances. But you know, maybe we'll see. So that is basically all the movies that I've been watching. What I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year is A Quiet Place Day One. That's next week. I will be seeing that, and I'm excited for that. I can safely say that I'm excited for that. The next one is Twisters. I am pumped for Twisters. Am I going in thinking that it's going to be better than Doom Part Two? No, I don't think it's going to be better than Doom Part Two, or like really any of the top contenders for this year. But it seems like there's that word again. It's gonna be fun, and that's what I've been looking for going to the movies a lot this year. I want to have a fun time. I kind of want to escape my reality, escape my life, and have fun at the movies, and that's what Twisters looks like. What else is coming up? Of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm looking forward to that. Something that people might not know that I'm looking forward to is Horizon. I'm looking forward to the Kevin Costner film Horizon, and this is kind of like different. Well, they did this with The Strangers too, and I didn't watch the Strangers Chapter 1, the new Strangers movie. I haven't watched that. But they announced that they are doing a trilogy for that, and all three movies are going to drop in the same year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I know 1 and 2 are going to be in the same year. Now, with Horizon, the Kevin Costner film, they made these movies back to back, and they have release dates for both films. It's chapter 1 and chapter 2, and chapter 1 comes out next week, June 28th, and I am pumped for that movie. I keep seeing the trailer, and then like it's a western, a country western, and I'm into that. Like I wouldn't say that I love westerns, but I would say I am a sucker for a period piece. So Horizon Chapter 1 is dropping at the end of June, which is next week, and then Horizon Chapter 2 is dropping in August, and I am pumped for that too. I think it comes out August 16th, the same day as Alien Romulus. That brings me to my next film that I'm excited for. I am pumped for Alien Romulus. Um, I might be doing a double feature with those two movies that I'm really looking forward to. Another one that I'm semi looking forward to is The Crow reimagining. I just watched the original Crow, for the first time maybe a month ago, and I really liked it. I thought it was dope. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And I completely understand the cult classic, why it's a cult classic. The aesthetic itself is great. It is like it's very gothic and kind of dated in a great way. So yeah, The Crow. Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Robert Eggers has a new movie, Nosferatu, that's dropping Christmas time. I guess I'm interested in that. I think that movie. I don't know. Really the only reason why I'm excited for that is because it's by Robert Eggers, and I enjoy him as a filmmaker. But other than that, I saw the leaked trailer and it was good, but it didn't really like grab me. There was a final shot that was pretty cool, but like I watched that trailer and I was like, it was cool, you know, I liked it, but it wasn't like, oh, I gotta see it, oh my god, like it wasn't like that. So I don't know. It's kind of rare for me to get like that, unless there's like a leading up to, like, if there's like films that I've seen that lead up to that movie, that's really the only time I get like super pumped like that. Despicable Me 4, I'm looking forward to. I haven't watched the third one at all. The second one, the last time I saw Despicable Me 2 was when it came out. So, there's that. Uh yeah, that's pretty much all that I'm anticipating coming up. Can't really think of anything else. If something else comes to me, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, so what have I been watching? So as far as anime, I was trying to catch up on Blue Lock. It is a soccer show, soccer series, and there's a movie coming out this coming week for Blue Lock. I'm not gonna be able to catch up with it. It's okay. I watched all of Spy Family. It's pretty good. My Hero Academia is popping off right now, so that show, after season 4, the quality is dipping. It's like a roller coaster of quality for My Hero Academia. and I enjoy the show. It's just I don't know. Sometimes I get bored with it. So that's anime that I'm watching. As far as the other shows, The Bear I'm catching up with for season 3. So I just finished The Bear season 1. I am going to be watching The Bear season 2 in preparation for season 3 dropping. Uh, so there's that. The Boys just returned. So we are 5 episodes in, or 4 episodes in. The 5th episode is coming out next week for The Boys. So The Boys is it's crazy. Show is wild. It's not for the faint of heart. The Boys is not for the faint of heart, but it's a dope story. This season is kicking off a little slow because there's no really clear villain. I think that's one of the biggest things. Like it's very political, and like on both sides have like they have like pros and cons to them, which the people that are with Homelander obviously, have more villainous tendencies than the people are, involved with the boys and, Billy and, Mother's Milk and stuff like that. So, but they both kind of like hit a gray area sometimes. So, I don't know. That's one reason why I love that show because not everything is cut and dry. Not everything is black and white. And, Homelander Homelander in this last episode. My gosh, this man Homelander is a actual menace. He's a menace to society, and he was built that way. Like I won't say that I won't negate his trauma. Yeah, those people didn't negate his trauma either because they got a handful. Yeah, One Piece Blue is supposed to come out later this year. I'm not exactly sure what that is, Jared. What is Piece Blue? Hmm. They got to let the bear out of the kitchen. Yes, sir. So next Thursday, this coming Thursday, is The Bear season 3, and they're dropping all the episodes at the same time, which personally I love. I'm down with dropping the entire season at once. Some people aren't, but cousin, there's a bear in the kitchen. The Boys is not a watch with the family show. It's not. I mean, I guess depending on what kind of family you got, but you know, it's not. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not like a traditional family show, you know. So that first episode, I think it was the first episode. Was it? No, it was the second episode. There's a scene involving a sauna, bro. That is enough said. Mind of a Nerd, my boy Tyler in the chat. He says, just finished 101 Dalmatians remake again, remains solid. Bro, my favorite part of that movie is when Hugh Laurie is on the log. When he's on the log and he's trying to balance on the log. I love that. One Piece Blue is supposed to be a sequel to One Piece Red film. Oh, okay. I did not know that. That is something that I did not know. Sauna scene caught me off guard. I didn't even know how to react. Me either. My jaw was basically just dropped. I was just like, okay, that just happened. But the thing about that show is there's like insane things happening all the time. So like certain things shouldn't even shock us at this point. But like I guess it was because it was so like it was at the beginning of the season and we haven't had the boys in a while. So like it was a shock nonetheless. Mother Nature gave Cruella all the smoke in that movie. Yeah. For sure, for sure. We are doing a originals versus remakes for 101 Dalmatians. So we're going to be talking about that on the channel. That doesn't come until a little bit later though this year. But well, August. So a couple months. So yeah, The Bear, The Boys, House of the Dragon season 2. Bro, show is good. Show is good. And when I first watched House of the Dragon season 1, I was watching it week to week, right? And like I mentioned earlier, I am a binger. So I watched it week to week. I fell off at like episode 5. So like I was kind of like watching it some here and there, and then like one week I'll watch like 2 episodes, and then I'll wait a month and then watch another 2 episodes. I hate doing stuff like that, but that's kind of how it is. So when you don't binge, you kind of, well, for me personally, I end up waiting like months or a month to watch the next episode. By that point, I'm forgetting what happens in the previous few episodes. So, um, for season 2, I binged the first season, like watched it pretty much straight through. I enjoyed it a lot more, which I guess I didn't enjoy the episodes themselves more, but I did enjoy the season as a whole more because I could recall certain things that happened a few episodes ago. Whereas if I'm watching it week to week and I stop watching it for a month, I'm not gonna remember that stuff. So I'm a binger, and like I said, with the Bear season 3, I'm gonna be able to just sit there and watch the whole season, which I'm happy about. But season 2 of House of the Dragon, it kicks us off kind of at a slower pace, but that's kind of how Game of Thrones is in a way where something insane will happen, then it kind of slows down a little bit to build that momentum back up. That's how I feel like this show is going to go, this season is going to go. The thing about this show though, it's a lot more focused than Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, we have characters over here, we have some characters over there, we have, you know, just can't characters scattered all over the place. So when something insane happens with one group of characters, we'll focus on this other group of characters next. This is not really like that because it only really involves this one family. So like something insane will happen, like the finale of season 1, and they don't really have anywhere else to go. They still have to focus on this one thing. And a part of me likes that more, even though this premiere of season 2 kind of it was slower. Like there was a lot of dialogue sequences, there were a lot of character moments that I did love, but I have to admit it wasn't a lot of action happening. We're mourning someone. So like there's not going to be a lot of action, and I understand that. Then we have something insane happen in the last minute of the episode, and I'm back on board. So this first episode was dope. Really setting a game plan for what's to come for the rest of the season. And I'm down. I'm down. Team Black all the way. Team Black. Rhaenyra Targaryen can do no wrong in my eyes. Rhaenyra Targaryen, I'll do whatever you need me to do. So, um, that's basically what I've been watching as far as shows. Oh, another thing I didn't really want to touch on this much, but The Acolyte is the newest Star Wars series. I'm not going to go too much in depth with this, but I will say that we are 4 episodes in now. I've only watched 3 because the 3rd episode kind of made me fall off a bit. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the series before the finale again. Eventually I'll watch it, but I'm not feeling any sense of urgency right now. So that's how I'm feeling about the Acolyte. Um, so let's get into what I've been reading. And I won't go too crazy about that because I know most of my viewers aren't readers. So, but I know Luke is into it. So, let me pull up my Goodreads so I can just kind of talk about what I've read a little bit. Uh, so, oh, I just finished The Walking Dead book series, the graphic novel series, and I thought the ending was really good. I thought it was solid. I wouldn't say the entire book held my interest to a T, but the end result of the series was satisfying. Kind of unlike the end result of the series, TV series. The end result of the TV series was basically a stepping stone for these other spin-offs, like going every which way. Everybody parts ways, and oh, we got a show over here. We have a Dixon show. Oh, we have a Maggie and Negan show over here. Oh, we got this show with Michonne and Rick. Like it's kind of like that for the TV series ending. The graphic novel ending, I'm not gonna give it away for anybody who is interested in reading it, but we get kind of an epilogue of certain characters that have survived in the course of the series and kind of what they're up to in the future. And you know, somebody that is younger grows up to be like a grown person, and we see that, and I just felt like that was very satisfying to see somebody that has died in the TV series that we never got to see grow old. We get to see grow old and kind of have a family, and we just kind of see how they interact with, you know, certain people and things like that. So next one is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. That is a book talking about what's his name? What is his name? What is his name? Brock Turner. It is the Brock Turner situation where he attacked a woman, and she wrote a statement anonymously, and social media got a hold of it and it went crazy and things like that. So it's just basically her thoughts and throughout the whole situation, throughout the whole trial and things like that. And it was very interesting and eye opening. It was a hard read because whenever you read about real life people being attacked and you know things like that, it's not a fun subject, but it was a necessary read. Next was Fool Me Once. That was a book that I saw the miniseries first on Netflix. It's a murder mystery. Well, yeah, it's a murder mystery type series. It was a miniseries on Netflix, and then it was a book first. It was a book, and then Netflix adapted the book into a miniseries. My Goodreads is should be no, it's AJ. It's AJ Wilson. So I'll actually send you a link to my Goodreads because it's probably gonna be hard to find me on there. Luke reviews. Do that right now so I don't forget, and I can take a little breather. Um, Now watching Better Call Saul, liking it a lot more on a rewatch. Were you watching Better Call Saul when it was on TV? Did you watch it week to week? Walter White got me through my thesis. Watched all of Breaking Bad while writing it. Fantastic series, man. Breaking Bad. That is probably my favorite series of all time. My favorite drama series. I won't say comedy series because that's kind of not fair. But I love Breaking Bad. I got too many shows that I need to get caught up on and needed to watch. Let me know what shows you're watching. That's for all of y'all. Let me know what movies and shows you guys are watching. Uh, and Luke has found me on Goodreads. Nice. How's your Lost rewatch going? Yes, that is another thing that I've been watching. So, um, me and my wife and her family, our family, are watching Lost right now. We're going through the Lost series, which it's going a little slower than I'm used to, but I think it's okay to kind of pace yourself. And I've only watched the series all the way through one time, and this rewatch is interesting. It kind of makes me not like the show as much as I did before, which is really heartbreaking. But I still think it's a very awesome show. It's very solid. But once we got to season 4, I don't know what happened. I just wasn't into it as much. And that's really sad because I was just into the entire show. But yeah, Stacy Wilson in the building. Hello, my love. She joined the chats. I rush binged it right before the last season, so maybe I didn't appreciate it to its fullest. That happens. That can definitely happen once you binge something. But on the flip side, like I was saying earlier, I hate I not hate, but I don't like watching things week to week and then having to wait an entire like in between seasons. Like it's like maybe 4 or 5 months. Sometimes with Breaking Bad, I think it was like 6 months. I watched some of it on TV. I binged up until like season 4, and then season 4 on, I watched week to week. And like in between those seasons, man, like it's hard to remember everything that happened. So that's why I'm a binger. That's what's up though, that you're rewatching that you rewatched Breaking Bad and then going back through Better Call Saul. That's might be something I need to do with Better Call Saul because I know I dropped Better Call Saul for like some years. Like I was watching Better Call Saul week to week from the beginning of the series. And I think maybe after season 2, like I stopped watching it for like 3 or 4 years. And after that, I caught back up because I knew the series was going to end. So I caught up from season, I want to say 4, 4 and 5. Like I watched season 4 and 5 back to back. There's only 6 seasons, so I can't remember how long I took a break, but I knew it was some years. It wasn't just 1 year; it was 2 years, at least. And then I picked the show back up, but I didn't watch it from the beginning. So like I need to sit down and watch Better Call Saul from front to back. I need to watch it from start to finish. I am not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. I knew it was 1216, one after Magna Carta, as if I could ever make such a mistake. Never, never. I feel like I know the quote, but I am not placing it right now. My brain is drawing a blank. So that's what I've been reading lately. Um, right now, I'm reading a book called The Night Circus, and uh, I'm reading it for a book club, and it's okay. I'm not loving it. I wish I was enjoying it more, but it is what it is. So that is what I've been watching movie wise, TV wise, and reading lately. Um, yeah, like I don't think there's many shows that I'm that hyped for coming up other than The Bear season 3, and we're already knee deep, not knee deep, but we're already off to the running with House of the Dragon season 2. A show that I kind of regret not watching or wanted to watch and it was on my watch list was Shogun on Hulu. I've been wanting to watch Shogun ever since ever since I saw the trailer earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. Maybe it was late last year. I saw it in the theater actually. They played it before one of the movies that I saw. And I was like, this looks dope. It comes out. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this." Like I like marked my calendar and everything, and people started watching it, and people started giving it like really good reviews and really good ratings. I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta watch this." Never watched it, and I said, "Okay, well, we're about 4 or 5 episodes in, so I'm not gonna start it now and then wait week to week. I'll just wait until the season is over, then I'll just binge it." Didn't do that either. So when am I gonna watch Shogun? Not sure. It's still on my radar though. Now that season 2 got announced and greenlit, now like I feel like once season 2 is about to drop, I should just binge the first season. I don't know. Luke says Shogun will be my next read, then watch. I don't think I'm that interested in reading it, but I the trailer had me, so I'm interested. That's Chuck. Oh, where he has the battery in his jacket. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I got you. Um, but yeah, so that is what's kind of been going on with what I've been watching, reading, things like that. If you guys have any other questions, then shoot them down in the comments. If not, then I'll probably wrap this up pretty soon. As far as releases coming out, I am interested in getting Godzilla X Kong, but do I want to pay full price for it? I don't. So I don't know. I might pick it up when I find it secondhand or just wait for the price to drop. I don't know. AJ, you read any Stephen King? I see It book back there. I was planning on reading it. I was planning on reading it starting in August. So by the time October is here, I'll be finishing it up. I was giving myself a little 3 month timeline for that because it's like over 1,000 pages. So I will start it in August, so with which is a couple of months, and that would be the first Stephen King book that I ever read. I started a Stephen King book, but never finished it. I started what's the book? They made it into a mini series on HBO. I believe it's called The Outsider. I started it. I was actually kind of liking it, but like I put it down and never picked it back up. So that's why I was kind of like, I don't know. I just never, picked it back up. Pet Cemetery will be my next Stephen King read. I heard Pet Cemetery, the book, is better than the movie. I hope that's the case because I don't love Pet Cemetery as a movie, and I really don't like the remake, which I feel like we're going to eventually talk about on the channel, but I don't know. 11/22/63 is a must read from him. Isn't that a miniseries on Hulu starring James Franco? I think that is. I could be wrong, but Stephen King is a author that I have been wanting to read and read his books, and I just have not gotten to it. Just have not. Another book series that I really wanted to get into this year was the Harry Potter series, and I picked up all the ones that I needed to get, and I just haven't started yet. Miniseries. The book is an all timer. Um, have you seen the miniseries? I mean, I heard the miniseries is great. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. This has been fun, just like a little hour Q&A, just to talk about what I've been watching, what I've been reading, things like that. So, if you caught me on the live stream, even though I didn't advertise it, I appreciate you for stopping by, hopping in the chat. Even if you didn't hop in the chat, I appreciate you for stopping by, checking me out. Luke Reviews has been hanging in there with me, just talking to me, which is awesome. Um, Mind of a Nerd was in here. My lovely wife Stacy was in here. Jared Runner, Kal-El, The View with Drew. So I appreciate all you guys for stopping by, and everybody that's catching this on the replay. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you smash that like button and that subscribe button. And I promise next time I do a live stream, I'm going to let everybody know that I'm doing a live stream. I'll probably be doing it in the evening so more people will be able to join in the chat, and we could just rap, we could just talk, and hang out. This has been a lot of fun, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.